And our next section is going to be a work section. We're pretty much all going to be displaying our work. We're going to create four columns that are going to have let's say images in there, right? So again, we're going to go to index.html. We're going to see where we ended up with a jumbo section, right? Or jumbotron section, right? And over here, what we're going to do is we're going to again create a generic section, right? And we right away have everything pretty much set up for us, right? So here we're going to call this a work section, right? This is the work section, right? So we're going to say this is work section. Here we're going to say that this is going to be the end of our work section, right? End of work, right? End of work section. Now over here, I'm going to change this a little bit around, and I'm going to say that this is this header, right? And I'm just going to cut it out, and we're actually going to place it all the way to the top, right? So here we're going to create a container fluid because I want it to spanning all across the screen, not just some part of it, right? And before we create a row, right, over here like this, we're actually going to paste it, and this is going to be our header, right? And in the header, we're going to write that this is our work, and we're going to say that header. And instead of header, we're going to write our work, right? So this is going to be kind of, again, like a header for the whole section. And after that, when we have a row over here, within this row, we're going to actually call this a container, right? We're going to say that this is going to be a image container over here like this. We're going to say that this is going to be div, and we're going to create a class. And the class is going to be image container class, image container over here like this. And then within this, still within this row, right? So we need to take off this, just copy and paste it over here. And now we have our image container, right? And within this image container, we're pretty much going to create a image boxes, right? So over here, we have a column, right? And we're going to say this is going to be for the medium screen, this is going to be 3, right? Then we're going to create another one for the small screen. It's actually going to be half the screen, right? So something like this. And after that, within this one column, we're going to actually start placing these images, right? So the point is, this is going to be something like a container for all our images, right? And over here, what we're going to do is we're going to more specifically start placing each image, right? And we're going to do that by actually creating a div. We're going to give it a class, and we're going to give it a class of image box, right? And the reason for this one is that we're going to be actually looking how we can create a jQuery Lightbox plugin. So we're going to have to use this much more easier if we use actually this div. Well, it's actually required that we're using this div, right? And not the actual class name, but div in general. And within this div, we would want to create over here this href. And for now, we're just going to leave it blank. But you'll see, again, we need this for the Lightbox, right? Not more specifically for what we're doing, but for the Lightbox, we actually need to do that. And within this link, we're actually going to create a image, right? We're going to place an image. Now, here's what I want to show you, right? We could technically go over here where we have our images, right? Find our images and actually download them and actually place them over here. But I want to show you how we can actually do that with a Bootstrap extensions, right? So we have over here these extensions, right? And again, we go to Bootstrap extensions, and we're going to check out the installed ones, right? And I want to show you one that's really going to make your life easy if you want to place some images, but you don't want them to be really specific, right? So you can see over here this Lorem pixel, right? This is going to be the Bootstrap extension that I'm talking about, right? So if we close it over here, and right now I cannot find it over here where I wanted to show you because actually I haven't enabled it, right? So again, sorry, but we're gonna have to go back to extensions, and we're just gonna have to check where the installed ones. And once it's downloaded, right? And what we need to do over here, again, I'm just gonna show you one more time, right? And we have Lorem Pixel, but we need to enable it, right? So once it's enabled, we can close it over here, and then we're gonna have this little icon over here like this, right? So what happens is when we click this icon, right away it gives us a options. First of all, what it would be the width of the picture that we want to insert. Then it would be the height, right? Then it would be a theme, right? And then we can add even grayscale, and this is right away going to give us the address, right? So in this case, I'm going to use a 400, right? This is going to be my width that I would want, a 400. I would want a height also 400, right? So let's just say it right away. I'm just going to write it over here so it's easier. So I have a 400, 400, and then I'm going to say that, let's say that I want a insert over here, right? So this is how we actually can insert, right? So now we have an image, right? And actually we should have created a source. I'm sorry for that. I'm just going to have to do it again. I'm going to say source, right? And if we click it over here, again, we have the same options. And here I'm just going to write a 400, right? And we're going to say that this is going to be, we want to insert, right? And the thing is, I didn't add the theme, right? So it went, you can see that it's actually changing the theme every time we look at it, right? So we need to go back and theme. Let's say that I'm going to start with, I don't know, animals, right? So now I have animals themes, and this is, I say, insert in correct position, right? And you can see that it actually gives you a address, right? So we can just delete this one for now over here like this. And now you can see that it's going to be showing what type of animals we have over here. Now I'm going to save this, and we would need to close obviously this image, right? Just to show you how it looks like, right? So now we have our first image placed, right? And we placed this image just by using a brackets extension, right? And obviously we would need to add a couple of attributes for this image, but it's really easy. If you don't really want to go and look for any kind of images, you can just use this, because first of all, it gives you a specific height. Then it gives you multiple options, right? It gives you multiple themes. It gives you multiple sizes, and all you have to do is really just press this insert to a correct position, and that's it, and it's done, right? Now, we do need to add a couple of attributes, right? Because it is Bootstrap. So the first attribute we would need is actually a class, and we're going to say that this is going to be a class of image responsive, right? Because we want this image to be actually responsive as we're working across the screens, right? And if we remember, this was a Bootstrap class, right? So we have a image responsive over here. Now, after that, I want to add something for the Bootstrap, so it actually would be spanning all across the screen for the small screens, right? So in here, in this case, I can just do it inline, and I'm going to say style, right, over here. And I'm going to say that style is going to be a width, and this is going to be 100%, right? So we just write over here like this, 100%. And you can see that for the small screens, it's right away going to be 100%. And after that, the last attribute I would want to add is going to be a alternative. That's pretty much if they cannot download these images, right? So we're going to say the name of the image, right? Of the image over here like this. And since we have over here these 4 columns, right? For a medium, and over here it says that it's going to be 50% of a small screen, right? We would need to obviously copy these ones, right? And what we're going to do is, again, I'm just going to create a little bit more space. And here maybe we're just going to leave the comment. And this is going to be a column or call, right? Call 1, something like this, right? And what we're going to do is we're just going to copy and paste this, right? So I'm going to select this. We're going to copy this, right? So this is going to be column 2. But instead of animals, right? The easy thing is we can go over here and we can just change it around, right? So we can just look at our themes, what we have. And one of the themes was actually city, right? So if we go back over here, and you can go and check out those names, right? It's very easy, right? So here we have a city theme, right? So this is, again, very easy how we can create it, right? So another thing, I'm just gonna look at where it is. And this time, I guess we're just gonna copy and paste it, right? So we're gonna say copy, right? And we're gonna create actually a new line, and we're gonna paste it, and we're gonna paste it one more time, right? So now we have our whole image over here. And let's just change around to this one to column number 3. And this is going to be column number 4. And again, let's change it around what type of photos it should be showing, right? So we're going to have a business one, right? And again, we can just go ahead and check it out over here, right? We have business, food, fashion. I mean, you can use whatever you want, right? So let's just say close, and let's just say that for column number 3, instead of city, right? Let's say that we're going to be using something like sports, right? So this is going to be sports. And the last one, let's say we're going to use something like nightlife, right? So here we have this one, city, and we write nightlife, something like this, right? So now we have 4 images that we didn't need to download, we didn't need to go anywhere. What we're going to do is we're going to go to CSS and actually style them, but you can see how nicely they look, right? So on, let's say, medium screen, I'm sorry, on a small screen, you can see that it's half and half, right? Over here like this, 50%. And on the medium screen, obviously, we're going to be, they're going to be using the 1/4 of the screen, right? The only reason why I'm not doing, let's say I'm not maximizing the screen, because then I need to minimize it again, so it's side by side. So you can go ahead and do that. But the whole point is, for the medium screen is going to be 3 columns, and over here it's going to be half the screen, right? And the only thing we will need to do is we will obviously need to get rid of these paddings and borders and all that stuff, right? So let's go ahead to main CSS and actually style it.